Hello, YouTube. Do you know that 7 states prohibit an atheist from being elected or from holding civic office? 7 states, one of them being Texas, South Carolina, Arkansas. Three are three of those that say that if you do not believe in a higher power, you should not be able to be elected, or there is some kind of public office in there, and that is patently unconstitutional. And this points to a question: religious freedom or religious tyranny. Oftentimes, we see a lot of individuals, a lot of pastors, in inserting themselves into the political arena. Now, they can speak as a pastor, um, their views, which is fine. That is freedom of speech. You have that, but it is also limited, such as saying fire in a crowded stadium when there is no fire. There is also, we saw in North Carolina, we see in Maryland and Washington, we also see in Minnesota individuals who are saying that they have to, quote, protect marriage, and that if they do not vote, if they vote no, it is a vote against marriage, and they will be doing a disservice to their religion. Now, religious freedom is simply the ability to worship without undue government interference, without irrational government interference. Also, the right to not worship at all. The ability to practice your religion or no religion at all is what religious freedom is. With the contraceptive mandate, I believe that was a great compromise, that companies did not have to pay for it if they did not want to, but they had to at least offer it. Many of many religious organizations feel as if just offering it is bad enough, and that's where a lot of times freedom of conscience clauses come into play, where it simply says where you are exempt from any anti-discrimination law in the event that you cite religious objections as a reason. Now let's move to New Jersey. In New Jersey, there was a gay man who was denied his HIV meds for 3 days because the nurse said that it was against God, and she asked him how he got HIV. When he said that he's a gay man with HIV, she automatically knew how he got it, and she said, "I will deny you your medications." That is a violation. First of all, I think it's a violation of privacy big time, and he's suing that company. And that woman denied him his HIV meds, and what if, missing a dose can be devastating when a person is HIV positive and they're having to, and the medications are very complicated. Some of them you have to take on an empty stomach, some you have to take on a full stomach, and you have to be on the clock with your medications. And she's saying because she believes it's against God, being gay is against God, she's going to now discriminate against this gay man who needs his medication, and he had to plead for his medication. This is a hospital where you are supposed to help anybody who is in need, and you are putting a belief that you have above what you swore to do. That is the worst case of abuse I've ever heard. And so many times this happens all across the country without a lawsuit being filed, because sometimes they don't have the money to hire a lawyer to submit the court documents, because court is expensive. So a lot of freedom of conscience clauses are simply to say, I can discriminate because I have a religious belief. And some courts have sometimes have upheld different things like this because of the fact that it's a religious belief. Well, that's a problem. Simply, all people don't have the same religious beliefs, and it is not right for some to impose something on someone else irrationally. Now, let's go back to contraception. What about the religious beliefs of the woman who is taking the contraception? What about her religious beliefs? What about the fact that let's say she's married with 3 kids and she doesn't want another child and she wants to get the nougat ring or something like that. The doctor can now say, I don't believe in contraception because I believe when God makes you pregnant, you should stay pregnant. Well, they have the right to believe that, but they don't have the right to simply impose that because it is their belief. Let's go on to Proposition 8. Unless Proposition 8 passes, your kids will be taught that gay marriage is okay. Quote, marriage between 2 people of the same gender. Well, you may cite your political views, but you're infringing on my civil right to be married. Marriage is a basic civil right of man. And not only that, but what about adoption? In the event that I am qualified, I would like to adopt a child. And you're saying that simply because I am unmarried and prohibited by state constitutional amendment, that I can't, because I can't marry, now I cannot adopt a child. And therefore you are violating my beliefs that I am, 1, that I am a qualified parent, and 2, if I am cleared by the Department of Social Services, they have to cite the statute against me because I am unmarried. So that is that religious tyranny. We were founded on freedom of religion, but now it is simply religious tyranny now, and they are able to sway the majority because of the fact that some people are uncomfortable with certain topics or certain things. There have been so many license to bully laws, there have been so many religious exemption laws that have put people being able to say things or being able to do things that are destructive because they have a religious or are voicing a religious opinion. They're creating the very destruction they say will pass that they say will happen if other people get the same rights that they have, if other people are able to live without undue government intrusion into their personal and private lives. It's funny how a lot of Republican legislators will say that they believe in small government, and yet they will pass bills that force the government into your personal lives. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on religious freedom versus religious tyranny? I believe that everybody has a right to be involved in the political process. But I do believe that, especially when churches get involved in ballot initiative, that they should be taxed, just like the Mormon Church, just like that Anchorage Baptist Church that led the way against Prop 5 in Alaska, and so many other churches, even in Maine, in Minnesota, in the Washington and Maryland. Any of those churches who got involved as a church in the petitions and everything else, I believe they should be taxed because they're taking their beliefs and pushing it on every single other person irrationally, simply because it is their own beliefs. So, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know, has there been a time when you have been refused adequate medical care because of the fact that someone cited a religious objection? When have you run into that ever? As you had to do something or go somewhere, and it was an emergency or something like that, and you were denied because of that. So rate, comment, subscribe. You have a great day. Good head 85.